Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yeah, sorry I'm so late. Lots of stuff going on. And I'm having, I don't know what I'm having. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. It's called The Blahs. Good morning, and welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where there's new toys in this chat. I've never seen these before. Congratulations to Somnambull Nation, who gets the bell. I don't know why that thing's up there, but yeah, anyway, and I'll say hi to everyone else in the chat in a second. It's, what is it, Tuesday, the 15th of July, 2025. And I don't know, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in my life, and I'm contemplating my role in the world as you get old and start thinking, what have you accomplished in life? And I don't know, man. I've got the blahs. I'm just telling you. So y'all can pump me up however you can. That'd be awesome. Cause I'm just like this is, not feeling it right now. But there is news. There's stuff to talk about, and that's what I do on this show. So before we do that, I'll say hi and let's get it going because I'm already friggin' late. As I said, first in the chat was Somnambull Nation. I already got that bell, but I'm going to do it again just because I can. Also, number 2 is JB, and it looks like you get a moniker or a little notation next to you the whole show. Wait, JB is 2. Wait, how do you 2 and 3? No, Avocado Stiabli is 2. And JB was 3. What the hell's going on here? There's all kinds of numbers all over the place, and I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, also hi, Louie, and I said Somnambull Nation because you were here first. Willie won't. There is in the chat. Pope the Tyrannus, the third, the Blessed Lich. Can you see I'm a little off today? Blessings of the righteous dead forgive those that trespass against you. Also, good morning, Cashapp. What up, Kirsten? Hello, Blue-Eyed Scream. And that's it. That's all there are. That's it. 9 people. 10 people now. 2 likes. Can we at least get the likes up? I know that it'll take a while for people to get notifications and stuff because I didn't do my extra 10 minutes prior and whatever. But the rankings are ever shifting. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So those are points for chatting. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I see. That's weird. Well, no, it's not, because JB would be number 2 still. Anyway, something like that. That's kind of weird. Anyway, chat away and see if your numbers change. Let's see that. Sorry, you just got the notification. Well, I just started, so it's your timing is impeccable. So, yeah, I'm contemplating if I'm going to make some changes on the channel and on how I do this, because after 6 years of doing the show, I'm frustrated with it not growing, and it's not. Look, I'm clearly a niche product, right? But I've seen some really bad channels grow exponentially, and I just haven't seen it. And maybe it's the time I do, maybe it's just I'm not very good at this. I don't know. I'm glad that you guys should come here every day and enjoy it. And I'm not leaving. I'm not thinking of that. I'm just thinking of making some changes. Maybe change the name of the channel, maybe change format, maybe change some things. We'll see what happens. We'll figure it out. Do more slop. Slop gets views. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by slop in particular, but just I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what I'm going to do. But anyway, thanks to everyone who has shared the stream this morning. Let's look at that real quick. And I know that, as usual, Somnambull Nation on top of things, aka link in description, Lincoln description. Reposting that. Oh, I didn't even pin my own. Anyway, and we're off and running. Yes, that's a nice little meme there. Post a meme or GIF with the link at the top there. I did not want to Gosh darn it, I do that every time. They make this difficult. Also, let the party begin. Woo! Thank you from Ty Alexander, the Daily Woo from Rick Flair. And I did the quote thing again. What the hell am I doing? Good God. Can you tell I'm off? Not unusual. Also, JB and Somnable Nation, Kirsten Shull, K. Shull, and Ty Alexander have retweeted the show. Got our daily Samurai from JB, Samurai movie. Thank you. Reposting that. And Kick and Twitch clips. Oh, that's just one of those new aggregator sites. And Amazing Disgrace reposted the Let's Go. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all. And Amazing Disgrace, are you even here? I'm sure you're here somewhere, but welcome. Let's see. All right, enough of that. Whoa, what was that? Oh, this. You ever try to? Have you ever? Any of you doing like use Duolingo, trying to learn a language? I've been using it to learn Spanish along with a couple other things. For my trip to Spain, and then I've just kept going because I want to try to get better at speaking Spanish. But it gives you these notifications constantly. I should turn the notification cause. I'm having a stroke. I should turn the notifications off because they just pop up like 7 or 8 notifications a day from Duolingo. Yeah. Oh, you should keep going. You're someone did their streak. Someone did this and blah 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 blah. I'm like, leave me alone. Won't you leave me alone? Please leave me alone. Yeah, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Just leave me. Bonus points if you can name the artist. Morning Special K on Acid on the honorable mention list of favorite Canadians. TC is also in the house. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Does Duolingo have Mexican Spanish? I think that's one language that you can choose between the two, but I did Spain Spanish. Although I've been trying it on my Mexican American friends, and they seem to see it's not too much different. But yeah, there's certain different words in Mexican Spanish versus Spain Spanish. He doesn't, especially considering that was Chinese in origin and samurai are Japanese. Oh, was that what did I say? Something about wasn't Chinese? Oh, that was a kung fu movie or samurai movie. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Dua Lipa is better than Duolingo. True. And thank you, TC, for tweeting out the show also. I see you there. Appreciate it. All right. Let me pin this real quick, and then I can get into the show. Get into the shows is relevant. Hello. I said, did I see? Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. All right. Let's get into the stuff here. Today. Oh, by the way, we were talking about Bastille Day yesterday, and apparently, I didn't put any. Well, I have some other holidays up here, but it's interesting when I read this morning because I don't know why there are global celebrations of Bastille Day. But here was one of the things that popped up this morning. Global celebrations of Bastille Day 2025, unity and diversity. What? And this is obviously a Grok-generated headline and summary based on what people put on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And they say on July 14, 2025, France and its global community. Now, what does that mean? You mean like the French colonies? Celebrate Bastille Day, marking the storming of the Bastille in 1879 and symbolizing the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity from the French Revolution. And some heads rolling, too. This year's celebration featured traditional fireworks alongside innovative light shows. The festivities extend beyond France, with French embassies and consulates worldwide participating. Oh, that's what it means. Showcasing a spirit of unity and cultural pride, individuals from various countries are sharing their celebrations as well-wishers online, highlighting the global resonance of this French national holiday. And now I thought for sure, like yesterday, we saw a couple of them where people would use that to kind of make their Trumpiette statements or whatever. Wait, now these, I see what's happening here. Because now K-Shaw has the number one. How'd that happen? Well, Somnambule Nation was number one. Okay, we already been through that. We already got the belt. Anyway, so, and here's what it is. And on the left obviously is going to take this as an opportunity to call for violence and murder. Once upon a time, the French had a real problem with the 1%, and they solved it. Oh, that's cute. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. And so, congratulations and greetings to our allies and friends in France celebrating their national day, the NATO Maritime Command. So anyway, as I was rolling down there, I thought for sure that people would make mention of Donald Trump or something like that with that guillotine thing, which you know what they were pointing at when they did that. All right, enough about that. Other holidays happening today: National Gummy Worm Day, Orange Chicken Day, National I Love Horses Day. Oh, Cenk Uygur is probably celebrating that. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have that on the screen. Did I say that out loud? Did I say that out loud? Oh shit, I did. Well, you know what I meant. Anyway. National Pet Fire Safety Day. What? I've never heard of that. Be prepared for the unexpected. Keep your furry friends safe with fire safety tips and tricks. A National Pet Fire Safety Day. What do you do? How do you celebrate National Pet Fire Safety Day? I mean, they dressed up this bulldog in a fireman's uniform. National Be a Dork Day. Well, that's every day for me. National Clean Beauty Day, National Give Something Away Day, National Donna Day, if you're a Donna, hello. World Youth Skills Day. It's also Celebration of the Horse Day. So again, Cenk Uygur is just, never mind. National Respect Canada Day. All right, whatever. National Democracy, the Democracy and National Unity Day of Turkey. Whatever, stupid holidays. Moving on, it's also the feast of St. Bonaventure, which I'm not really familiar with St. Bonaventure. One of the quotes, the root of all sin is pride, and the fruit of pride is self-love. Wow. I was thinking about pride parades when I said that. I don't know why. Anyway, St. Bonaventure, whose feast we celebrate today, desired to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, so that you may be filled with all fullness of God. God is a fountain fullness of love and goodness. May we return to that love, others return. So happy Feast of St. Bonaventure's Day, which, again, me and the Catholic holidays, I'm not that familiar, but, I should learn them because I have Catholics in my family. Thank you, Avocado Stably, for sponsor today. You are the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Helping with my blahs already. Who says, since the rankings are vexing your boomer mind, a quick primer. You get 25 points a chat, limited to 75 points in an hour. Super chats get you a lot more points, and the rankings constantly shift because it will put the person to get an amount on top. Oh, I see. But see, if you do Streamlabs, I'm more happy because I can control the dollars rather than YouTube. But if you want to, try to get that number one by dropping super chats, I'm not going to argue with you. There we go. All right, back to the news and stuff that's happening. Someone named John MacArthur is trending. John MacArthur apparently has passed. This man, they say, I wouldn't have done it, but he's trending high, and I'm like, who the hell's John MacArthur? Apparently he's a spiritual advisor to many a president and whatever. This says, our hearts are heavy yet rejoicing as we share the news that our beloved pastor and teacher John MacArthur has entered into the presence of the Savior. This evening his faith became sight. He faithfully endured until his race was won. That was kind of morbid, but anyway. Charlie Kirk says, Pastor John MacArthur faithfully testified to the truth of the gospel for decades, all while the culture, media, and our politicians peddled lie after lie. He was a legend, and he will be deeply missed. And I don't know who he is. So if you want to know who he is, you just go on this link when I drop the links and see who the hell John MacArthur is. So not to be disrespectful, I just don't know who the hell he is. Anyway, I suppose it should. In news, though, today core CPI numbers are out, and some of the lefties are just apoplectic, going off. Oh, inflation rose! Ah! So core CPI was up 0.2%, still below 3%. But a year ago, comparisons are tough, and the year-over-year core rose slightly to 2.9%. Better look at the 3-month annualized changes. The 3-month annualized increase was just 2.4%, down from 3.6% in February. Tariffs don't cause inflation. Follow whatever that means. But Ted Lieu, inflation increased above expectations to 2.7%. Core CPI increased 2.9%. Trump and the Republicans are hurting our economy by increasing your cost. Hey, dipshit. That's not new, dickhead. And it's below the 3%, which never was under that other guy. Anyway, Financial Times breaking news: U.S. inflation climbed to 2.7% in June, surpassing expectations and signaling that Donald Trump's tariffs are hitting prices on whatever. This is Financial Times. I suppose, but for still, though, and I'm surprised core is up. I suppose that's minus fuel prices, because fuel prices are still down over last year considerably. But, you'll see many politically biased headlines on CPI this morning. But the reality is core CPI, the only thing the Fed cares about, came in below expectations and for the 5th straight month. So, again, core CPI rose 0.2% in June, beating market expectations of 0.3%. Here's how they mentioned on Fox Business, which is going to be, this is just the
Look, you've got to look at this report as another victory for President Trump, who has focused on reining in inflation, and that's what we're seeing from this report again. Look, you've got to look.
So someone here says another way to look at viewing today's CPI data is that since February, when the new administration took over, we're on track for less than 2% inflation annualized February 25th to February 26th. All items, 1.7%. All items less food and energy, 2.2%. That's if the trend stays. That is. The trend now is for cooling inflation. Core was flat. So, again, we all said core CPI was misleading when Joe Biden was president because it excludes food and energy. Top line inflation rose in June enough to make a political impact, highly debatable, but don't be the chip swap guy in this. So, but certainly the Democrats, politicians are going to pretend that this is an awful report. New year to year, 2.7, 2.6 was expected. Core, 2.9, 3.0 expected. So we'll see how that affects the markets. Who knows? We'll see. Moving on. Portland fire is trending. Now, I didn't know there was a fire in Portland. And but then I realized there is no fire in Portland. Apparently, the WNBA has named its next expanding franchise team Portland Fire. And I thought to myself, why the actual F would they name their team the Portland Fire? The city where Antifa assholes throw Molotov cocktails and try to burn down federal buildings. A city that's near many forests and mountains that could catch on fire. I don't think you should have named your team the Portland Fire, but that's up to them, and I don't know what else to tell them. So that's going to be the new WNBA Portland, which means nobody cares. Okay, next. Department of Education, the president had a bit of a victory in the Supreme Court, apparently, and he wrote about it on Truth Social, where he says the United States Supreme Court has handed a major victory to parents and students across the country by declaring the Trump administration may proceed on returning the functions of the Department of Education back to the states. Now, with this great Supreme Court decision, our Secretary Secretary of Education Linda McMahon may begin this very important process. The federal government has been running our education system into the ground, but we are going to turn it all around by giving the power back to the people. American students will be the best and brightest, the most highly educated anywhere in the world. Thank you, United States Supreme Court. The point is, they allowed him. Apparently, the Supreme Court said it's okay for them to reduce some of the staffing and personnel in the Department of Education. To which other people are saying the same thing. Say goodbye to the DOE. Time for education to be returned to the states has come. This unnecessary bureaucracy created in the Carter administration has meddled the education of our kids for way too long. Local schools won't need Washington bureaucrats meddling in our schools. You know, I mean, the Department of Education was a kind of a top-down mandate center, and I think, you know, certain school systems are probably better off if they innovate and do things that are local. I don't know if this is going to help education in America or not. Either way, there's a problem in American education, and that's controlled by people who want to indoctrinate your kids in certain political ideologies, both on the left and on the right, rather than just teaching kids how to fucking read, do math, and spell, and what's the other one? Reading, writing, arithmetic, reading, writing, and write. And also, you know, the age of the phones and the computers and shit, kids kind of don't have to learn, and it's unfortunate because you still need to know how to do shit. And I don't know what to say about this. I think paring down the Department of Education and using it as a grant and control function is probably a good idea. So I have no problem with that. Someone who says liberal woman has a question for 77 million that voted for the current administration. Did you vote for the Department of Education to be dismantled? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So it's a silly question. Of course I did. I think it's unnecessary bureaucracy. So there. Enough about that. Oh, wait, not enough about that. Here, the Supreme Court allows Trump Education Department to resume layoffs. The Supreme Court issued a 6-3 ruling on Monday, allowing President Donald Trump's Department of Education to resume its effort to slash its workforce in half. The decision reverses a lower court ruling ordering the reinstatement of the Department of Education employees cut loose in mass layoffs, and ultimately allows the Education Secretary Linda McMahon to continue her mission of winding down the department. The Department of Education announced in March that it was reducing its workforce by half in an effort to streamline the department and cut down on unnecessary bureaucracy. So, that's the Supreme Court ruling. There you go. There's more in the article. You can read it yourself. In other news, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has been subpoenaed to comment, implying he was sheltering an illegal alien. Remember, he had an illegal alien working for him, and New Jersey's Governor Phil Murphy was issued a subpoena over comments he made in February, implying that he was sheltering an illegal alien in his home, according to the New York Times. Several people with knowledge of the matter, my favorite source, told the outlet that U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Habba, was pursuing an investigation into Murphy's comments. Two of the sources clarified that the Federal Bureau of Investigation agents had sought to interview at least 4 witnesses in connection with the comments, while another person stated that Murphy had been subpoenaed. Well, I'm just there you go. So, and this just gives me an excuse to show Alina Habba. Let's see what this is.
This isn't a trans case, but Tammy and I were talking about.
That's for AD.
Into too much detail.
Here, there's a better shot.
But there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her. So it's going to be a whole combination, all of the above.
Interesting. Okay, enough. Interesting something. But anyway, so yeah, good luck, Phil Murphy. So let's see what you meant by that. Do you have are you harboring an illegal alien in the apartment above your garage or not? Good question. In other news, apparently 60%. This is a poll. 60% of Democrats still believe Trump colluded with Russia to win the 2016 election. party of science, my ass, it starts out. So anyway, so there you go. You can read that. I'm not going through it. Also, trending, Trump Epstein cover-up, which was prominent. Which is part of the reason for my blahs and my case of the fuckets, which I did not spell out up here. And this is funny because this is what is that? I just happen to be wearing the shirt. What's that called? The Pawn Stars. I'm wearing the shirt from the Pawn Stars show. I didn't even plan that, but they did a little Pawn Stars there. I like to see the Epstein client list. Best I can do is deport Rosie O'Donnell. That's funny. Anyway, this PD smear campaign against Trump is discussing. We all know who the number one Epstein client was, yet your anti-Trumpers could care less. Anyway, yeah, here's why that's trending. Because now the some House committee voted members that voted to block the Epstein list. What happened? Rules committee members voted to block the Epstein list, voted no to releasing Epstein files. Why did these Republicans vote against that? I don't know if that's what the exact vote was. I think they're going to have, they should have a hearing on it. Hi, Rick Ashburger. What's up? And Lord Stanhope. Did I say hi to you yet? I didn't. And Darren Root. Anyway, so a lot of people are posting this. Breaking. MAGA Republicans in Congress just voted to block the release of the Epstein files. Rules Committee members that voted to block the Epstein list. And some of these are trending. Virginia Fox, who's the chairwoman, whatever. Chip Roy, Aaron Houchin, Michelle Fischbach, and Nick Langworthy. Now, one Republican voted to do it, and all the Democrats did, which I don't understand. I don't understand this. So which gives us our daily Krasenstein. Here are the 7 Republicans who voted not to release the Epstein files. Share this far and wide to vote them out in the midterms. Like as if Ed Krasenstein had ever voted for a Republican in his life. Rules Committee members that voted to block the Epstein list. Let's see. There it is. A motion by Mr. McGovern to make in order amendment number 50 to HR blah, 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 offered by Representative Khanna, which will require the Attorney General to preserve and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein, defeated 5-7. Now, obviously, this was a grandstanding move because you would think maybe that there'd be some questions within the committee for specific people, maybe behind closed doors, that in a classified setting, maybe just to find out maybe if there's a reason that has some national security issues, reasons why they're not doing the list. But I'm still in the land of don't give two shits what their reasons are. They should be figuring that out. Now, I'm not completely done with the Trump administration over this, but I'm certainly over them on this. This is annoying as hell. So, and so lots of people are just busting their ass because they did this. Why would they vote against it? Maybe they talked to the White House and there's something going on. I don't know. Could they be in the process of working out prosecutions for people? I don't know what the hell they're doing. But lots of people vote every Republican out that voted against this, especially Virginia Fox. Just in, Republicans in the House Committee voted to block the release of the Epstein files. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody's saying this. Now, one thing that got posted that was hilarious. Well, not hilarious. Actually, it's kind of sad. Do I still have it? Maybe. Oh, no, I got rid of it. Someone had posted a Photoshop picture of Donald Trump when his daughter was young, and the girls were headed to a birthday party, and they superimposed them inside of Epstein's plane. And it was an obvious, well, not an obvious Photoshop, but clearly easy to tell that this was not. And so the caption of it said, Donald Trump on the way to Epstein Islands, with picture of his daughter and some of her friends who were on their way to a birthday party. And people pointed out, well, first of all, dumbass, that's his daughter. And that's from a birthday party picture that we've all seen before. And that's a Photoshop image of them on Epstein's plane. So if you see an image like that floating around, I don't know if it's if I scroll long enough, if it's going to show up. But yeah, some asswipes did put that out there. But anyway, again, Trump's approval rating is taking a hit because of this whole Epstein shit. President Donald Trump has faced mounting criticism from his base after the Department of Justice, led by Attorney General Pam Bondi, released a memo on July 7th stating that the deceased pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein had no client list, blah, 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 blah. His poll numbers down because of it. And I don't think that, look, people are pissed about this, and I don't think they realize it. By the way, also Trip Roy and Aaron Huchin and, Adam Schiff, that's not what I wanted. And some other Congress people who were on that committee are trending, right? But, yeah, it's a huge waste of time. It kind of is, and yet it was such a featured thing throughout the campaign season, and it's, I still want to know why Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail then. I still want to know why Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail. I still want to know why Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail. So, moving on, Adam Schiff is trending. Apparently, Donald Trump says something about Adam Schiff committing mortgage fraud, which he's got to be careful doing that. He put this on Truth Social. I've always suspected that shifty Adam Schiff was a scam artist, and now I learned that Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division have concluded that Adam Schiff has engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland to get cheaper mortgage and rip off America when he must live in California because he is a congressman. He was a congressman for California. I always knew Adam Schiff was a crook. The fraud began with the refinance of his Maryland property on February 6, 2009 and continued through multiple transactions until the Maryland property was correctly designated as a second home on October 13, 2020. Say, that's 11 years. Mortgage fraud is very serious, and crooked Adam Schiff, now a senator, needs to be brought to justice. Did Adam Schiff live more than 6 months in Maryland while he was in Congress? As a former mortgage banker, that would be the question I asked. And granted, from a political standpoint, he is supposed to live in California, which he is representing California. And I just don't know. There's a nuance there, but still, I don't mind being called out. And Letitia James is trending because of it, because they said that she was doing that, but she hasn't been charged with anything yet. So anyway, different people lawyer up Adam Schiff. Yeah, problem is he going to lawyer up because of that, or is he going to lawyer up? Now, wait, what did he say? The Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division have concluded that he has engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. So it wasn't Donald Trump investigating him, but so we'll see what happens with that. Lots of people posting it. President Trump, okay, that's everyone's putting that again. Adam Schiff and ethics are incompatible. Here are the top 10 crimes for which he accepted a preemptive pardon. Oh, I wonder if the preemptive pardon would cover his mortgage fraud, though. That'd be interesting. Except it's supposed to be related only to the January 6th committee. Someone here puts, here are the top 10 crimes for which he has accepted a preemptive pardon. Destroying exculpatory evidence, falsifying transcripts, lying about the Mueller report, colluding to abuse FISA warrants to surveil Carter Page, violating FEC rules against coordination with super PACs, money laundering via Act Blue, Logan Act violations, indecent liberties with a male minor. Oh, I didn't know about that one. Misrepresented sensitive information and funneling USAID money to NGOs. Now, I don't know if that's true. I thought the January 6th committee, their pardon was specific to their duties on the January 6th committee, not just a blanket pardon like Joe Biden. Excuse me, I'm not Joe Biden. Joe Biden's auto pen gave to the Joe Biden family. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, moving on. And that's why Letitia James is trending too. That's not Letitia James. What the hell is that? And where did that come from? Why hasn't Letitia James been arrested for mortgage fraud? I don't know. That's so weird. Oh, anyway, also breaking, Judge Boasberg is not above the law. Just like Letitia James finding out, he should be removed from the bench. What is going on with Bo Osberg? Wait a minute. Let's see if I can find this. Judge, there's got to be some news that I'm missing. This was from yesterday. Hang on. Let me see if I can find out what they're talking about here. Let's see. Let's do. Oh, by the way, thanks again to people sharing the stream. Let's see what this says. What happened yesterday to Judge Bo Osberg? Does anybody know off the top of your head? Hello, Now What Studios. Good morning, Woo. Good morning, PDawg. Are congressional domain rules different than mortgage laws? Omar doesn't have an address in Minnesota, does she? Capone got nailed on mail fraud. Yeah, we'll find out. Okay, here it is. This is from yesterday. Judge James Boasberg gave criminal FBI employee Kevin Kleinsmith 0 jail time for forging docs to intentionally make the American patriot Carter Page look like a Russian agent. Same judge is currently disrupting executive branch deportation policy. You getting it now? What is going on with Bo Osberg? Anyone does a wellness check on Bo Osberg. He should not only be impeached, he should be disbarred and prosecuted for sedition. Who agrees? Tom Tillis is blocking Ed Martin, which means the lawless Stalin-era Judge Boasberg will have the total power to appoint Martin's replacement. This means lawfare against Trump and MAGA, a coup by Tom Tillis. Okay, here it is. We should take this seriously. Let me get this straight. Judge Boasberg, who demanded the Trump administration turn around planes and bring back alleged illegal invader terrorists to the United States, is the same guy who gave an FBI attorney probation for pleading guilty to a felony for doctoring evidence and lying to the FISA court so that the FBI could illegally spy on Trump and his campaign as a part of the Russian collusion hoax. Yes, that's what he did. Good Lord. They are drip feeding us JFK information for a reason. See my court filing, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea. I don't know what happened. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. He's dropping another small bullet in the tip jar. He said that was not a vote to release the Epstein files. It was a vote to attach it to the Genius Act, which was crypto legislation that they voted no on. I wouldn't be, doesn't surprise me. That's interesting. Hello, Reaction Puerto Rico. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. So anyway, let's see. Maybe it's in Mike Lee's post. Good God, what the hell is going on here? Okay, here we go. A judge has issued a temporary restraint. Oh, that's from July 7th. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not sure why he's trending, but let's move on. I don't have time. What time is it? I don't have time. It was about here. Yes. All right, let's get into some of the articles today. I'm going to close this. And there's a few that I have open. Newsom steps on a political landmine, repeats party's infamous mistake. And I'm not sure what this is. Hello, Gun Fox. What up? See ya. Welcome to the chat. And Desert Tramp, too. Nice to have you all here. Remember Kilmar Abrego Garcia? Remember him? Yeah. Remember that? Back in the spring, Democrats tried to turn Garcia, an illegal alien, into a political martyr, a victim of President Donald Trump and his administration's cruel whims and treatment of immigrants. It backfired, however, as more information was revealed about Garcia's background and alleged crimes, including charges of human trafficking. Democrats simply stopped talking about him. They knew better than to die on a political hill for a man who may have smuggled migrants, narcotics, and firearms through the country. Now, Democrats such as Gavin Newsom, the California governor, are once again repeating their fatal mistake, leaping at the opportunity to champion supposedly innocent illegal aliens before more background information is known. Amid Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, recent raids in Southern California, Newsom and others omitted the fact that they took place on pot farms and, of course, spun the narrative that the Trump administration was targeting the workers who pick our food, not cannabis, a.k.a. weed. Now, it turns out that one of the innocent strawberry pickers arrested at the facility was sentenced to 7 years for kidnapping and attempted violation forcibly of a person of the sexual nature, and had a prior conviction for attempted child molestation, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. We talked about that yesterday. And so it's this guy that they caught, and he's got some convictions and whatever. One can safely say it's not a great look for the governor, especially considering that there were allegedly juveniles at the farm. Like Kilmore, Democrats may pretend that every illegal alien is a hero who deserves nothing less than citizenship and their own federal holidays. Sometimes, in fact, most cases, their cheap dunks and sermonizing come back to haunt them. Now, my opinion on this whole situation is becoming somewhat nuanced. I think that, especially the agricultural workers who, a lot of times, those people already have visas, and I can't figure out why there are still illegal alien migrant workers when we have a fairly robust guest worker program that is especially geared towards migrant farm workers. It's not expensive. It's $100 for the farm owners. It's a $10 for a 2-year extension of this for the person trying to work in the United States. Maybe it's still just they want to still pay them under the table and pay them in cash, pay them less than they should be paying them. I don't know. But, I still wish that the focus was mostly on the criminal elements. And look, as I said yesterday, there's the people out there saying that, crossing the border is not a crime. Crossing the border illegal is not a crime. No, it is a crime. That is a crime. It's under Section 1325 of the U.S. Criminal Code. Even though it's a misdemeanor, it's a crime. It's not an administrative infraction like a parking ticket. The hell? Like a parking ticket or, a jaywalking. It's not a civil administrative violation. It is a misdemeanor, which is a crime. It's just not as a felony. Although if they get deported after being charged and sentenced, which it carries up to a 6-month prison sentence and fines, and you still get deported. Okay, deportation is just a civil response to illegal border crossing. That if you get deported before you go to jail, before you get to court for the actual criminal case, you have a better chance of coming back legally. But if you get convicted a first time and you get deported and then you come back, then it becomes a felony and then you end up in jail for 2 years. Now, the United States, by the way, has one of the less severe penalties for the crime of crossing a sovereign border illegally. Hello, Miss Wild Wolf. So I can't figure out why we're not the migrant farmer workers are not using the migrant visa. I hear it's pretty well. They say it's pretty easy to get and it's cheap. That covers them for 2 years if they want to do that and send money back to Mexico or wherever they're sending it. But the fact that a lot of these people who come over in the last 4 years have just crossed our border illegally, they're subject to deportation. And did you know deportation, as far as the government's concerned, is not considered a punishment? Did you know that? Legally, it's not considered even a punishment because it's just the civil, it's a civil remedy for being in the country illegally. By the way, overstaying a visa, that is not a crime. Did you know that? That is a civil infraction. And again, the remedy for that civil infraction, the civil remedy for the civil infraction, you know what that is? It's deportation. Deportation is the remedy for the civil infraction of overstaying a visa, being undocumented. So when they say it's not a crime to be undocumented, that is true. But still, the civil remedy for being undocumented is deportation. It's not a punishment. You just get deported back to where you're supposed to be. That's not considered a punishment by the U.S. government. So the people who have crossed the border illegally and are just being deported and not going to court, the due process they're asking for, because the due process, again, since 1996, when Bill Clinton signed the expedited removal bill, they made it easier to deport people who are here on the civil violation. It's a civil punishment for a civil violation. The criminal violation is crossing the border illegally. And if you want due process for that, guess what? That is a trial for the crime of crossing our border illegally. And that can land you in jail for 6 months, a fine, and you still get deported. So I would say right now that the fact that they're deporting people and not making them go through the other due process, because the due process for the civil crime is just deportation. I mean, yeah, some serve a hearing if you're here long enough, but it's still, that is the due process, deportation. If they want due process for the people who cross the border illegally, well, that would require them to go to court and be subject to jail time. So there you go. Just thought I'd just thought I'd bring that up. Now, why am I talking about that? Oh, because of this guy. Anyway, I'm out of time pretty much, but we're going to do a couple more anyway. Oh, by the way, in this case in California where they raided the pot farm, apparently this Representative Carvajal is under fire from ICE for sharing agents' info during the cannabis raid. So this guy, is he doxing ICE agents? Oh my God. Democratic Congressman Salud Carvajal admitted on video that he took a business card from an ICE agent during a chaotic raid in Carpinteria. On its own might seem routine until ICE publicly accused him of handing that card to a violent mob. ICE alleges that the card was shared with the protesters who were throwing rocks at agents. One officer was later struck and bloodied during the clash. The congressman did an interview right after the raid. So here it is. U.S. Immigration Customs. Representative Salud Carvajal was part of a violent mob of protesters attempting to obstruct federal law enforcement as they executed a criminal search warrant. Notice, executed a federal search warrant. They had a warrant. At a marijuana facility, he cites peaceful protesters when, in fact, these rioters were launching rocks at officers, injuring at least one. So he's under fire. And also a California professor arrested for allegedly tossing tear gas canister at ICE agents during a raid on the pot farm. So all kinds of stuff going on in the pot farm. Wait. I'm going to read the beginning and then I'm going to show you his picture because I hid it. A California professor was arrested for allegedly chucking a tear gas canister at ICE agents during a raid on a marijuana farm, being investigated for child labor violations. Oh, yeah, that's right. They were using child labor, too, allegedly. Jonathan Anthony Carvello, a math and philosophy teacher at California State University Channel Islands, was arrested by federal agents conducting a raid at Glass House Farms in Ventura County on Thursday, ABC reported. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaili posted on X that Carvello was arrested for throwing a tear gas canister at law enforcement. Are you ready for the picture? Are you ready for the picture of Jonathan Anthony Carvello? Here we go. Yeah, there he is. Oh my God. It's in the eyes, isn't it? It's right there in the eyes. Holy shit. What the hell is that? Silas said Carvalho was charged with a violation of 18 U.S.C. 111 for allegedly assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers or employees according to federal law. So, and then the U.S. attorney also denied claims that the educator was kidnapped by federal agents, because they always say kidnapped. On Friday, the California Faculty Association shared that Carvalho was kidnapped by federal agents after protesters and law enforcement clashed during Thursday's raid. Nah, he got arrested for assault. Kidnap my ass. All right, you can read the rest on your own. A couple of other things that got the hopper here that I'm not getting to. Apparently, someone here, the conditions at Alligator Alcatraz are breaking my heart. There's a whole lot of people talking about the conditions at this so-called Alligator Alcatraz, which they like to call a concentration camp. Oh, because Debbie Wasserman Schultz said that. Which actually, there's a reason it's built on an airstrip. Is because they're doing deportations from there. It's not a concentration camp. It's a deportation center. And even Joe Biden, 3 years ago, was talking about they need to build a lot more detention centers. Anyway, Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, dipshit from Florida. I'm sorry, that stands for Democrat. I can't help but remember how Rush Limbaugh used to call her Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz. Yeah, has been railing about the inhumane conditions at Alligator Alcatraz. The detainees have to use jailhouse toilets, which combine a sink and toilet in one stainless steel unit. So, have you seen those jail toilets? They're stainless steel. And then they also have a potable drinking water fountain that's built into the top of them. And she's complaining, they have to drink out of the toilet. No. They're drinking out of a separate line or just a clean line of water out of a drinking fountain that happens to be attached to the top of the toilet. Anyway, this inhumane camp mirrors the despicable imprisonment that Japanese Americans endured in internment camps without due process in World War II. Like them, Trump and DeSantis ethnically targeted individuals without formal trials or charges and detained them in makeshift barracks, or in this case, cages. And just like that ugly chapter in America's past, these Everglades detainees lack any privacy or inhumane treatment and face inadequate food, sanitation, medical, and living conditions. The immoral treatment of human beings on this Florida site unmistakably echoes a similarly shameful American chapter. Well, at least she's not calling it Auschwitz like some people are. Schultz was particularly outraged that while those manning the facility were fed large pieces of roast chicken and large sausages, the detainees had to make do with small gray turkey and cheese sandwiches and apples and chips, and that's it. Wait a minute. New photos have leaked from inside Alligator Alcatraz showing inhumane conditions. Children sleeping on floors and 40 to 50 people in each cage. Just kidding. That was the Biden administration. Why didn't Democrats care then? Holy shit. I was going to say, that's not anyway. We're talking about fully grown men being fed very small portions, the Florida Congresswoman confessed. Golly, they get apples. Isn't that fresh fruit? I remember the time or two that I was in jail. I got 3 meals a day, and every time it was one and the same. A slice of bologna between 2 slices of dry white bread and black coffee. And I am an American citizen, not an illegal alien. Anyway, here's the deal. It's a detention center. It's not the Hilton or the Hoboken Holiday Inn. It's a detention center, and they're being processed to be deported. I'm not sure what they expect. Hello, Shrapnel, by the way. But yeah, they have to drink out of toilets. You fucking morons. Or you're lying, knowing you're lying, just to get emotional responses. And it's really annoying. All right. And then the other articles I have, a judge in France. France's top asylum court has ruled that all Palestinians living in Gaza are now eligible to apply for full refugee status in France, overturning a previous decision. The National Court of Asylum issued a decision in response to an appeal from a Palestinian woman whose initial asylum request had been denied by France Refugee Authority, OFPRA, OFPRA. The court found that Israeli military actions in Gaza meet the threshold for persecution under the 1951 Geneva Convention, qualifying the applicant, and by extension all Gazans, for refugee protection, according to JFeed. Well, look, yes, I suppose it's a war zone. I mean, so if France wants to do that, whatever, more power to them. Not the war that they asked for, France asked for, but whatever. So that's interesting. And then the other ones I have are, electricity rations have hit Dutch citizens as the government goes green. As the Dutch government goes green for the agenda of the progressive left, electricity rations are hitting the Dutch citizens. Here's the story from a report published yesterday in the Financial Times. Thousands of businesses and households are waiting to connect to the Dutch grid, forcing network operators to ration power in an early indicator of what other European countries are likely to suffer as the speed of electrification increases. More than 11,900 businesses are waiting for electricity network connections, according to NetBeheer Nederland, an association of Dutch grid operators. On top of that, are public buildings such as hospitals and fire stations, as well as thousands of new houses. In some instances, the rationing is so severe that the delay for reliable, affordable electricity is so long that it's holding up economic growth, with officials admitting that it would force businesses to rethink their investment plans. Translation: thousands of businesses may go out of business before even getting into business because they're not producing enough electricity, because they decide to go to a higher percentage of renewable energy, which they need to do that in a way that's gradual, that, so people have energy. But good luck in the Netherlands. And then finally, Obama says, y'all need to fight. I'll just leave that there. That's all I'm going to do today. There's a couple other articles, plus the aggregator. But I'm going to call it a day. Let's close that. Oh, thank you, by the way. More people have shared the show. Swamp Fox Ghost and Rexio Puerto Rico, Green Badger Outdoors, Resolute Germ. Thank you for also sharing the show. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. Another small bullet in the tip jar, 223. Fun fact, in Arabic, there is no P sound, and the Palestinians speak Arabic. Should make one scratch their head, but it doesn't. Yeah. Again, that's funny. I didn't know that there's no P sound in Arabic. So how exactly are the Palestinians if there's no P sound? Syria, Palestinia. It's a European name for the region, after they changed it from the name Judea. I wonder what Judea means. I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for joining me today. I got to go. Here come the links. As soon as this thing pops up, there we go. There we go. Copy. Here's today's links. There's lots of other stuff in there. Go check it out. They will be in the description also. That's it. Gotta go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. I'm out of here. Would you do the damn thing? Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.